Good morning, everyone. RHU Communication and Alumni Relations Office is extremely honored to be hosting RHU alumna and certified HeartMath Mentor, Ms. Randa Ali at RHU. Her return home is on a special occasion, a celebration of International Women's Day. Ms. Ali will address the challenges women face in our culture and tackle the topic of the innate superpowers women have forgotten. She will also teach us a technique that helps us women get into a state of coherence and inner balance. Ms. Randa Ali is a resilience and femininity coach and a certified HeartMath mentor, helping women gain better understanding of their emotions and develop emotional and mental strength using science-based tools and techniques. Passionate about feminine energy, she helps women discover their feminine superpowers which allow them to activate and radiate their feminine essence for more ease and flow in life and attractive energy in relationships. Having worked with women refugees and still coaches women from all kinds of backgrounds and cultures, she is committed to helping women develop resilience to rise above their challenge. Please welcome with me Ms. Randa Ali.
Do you think I should use the mic? You're fine. No, fine. All right. I would like to thank RHU for the opportunity first. And since I will be speaking about superpowers, I would like to ask you first, what does this word mean to you? What images does this word elicit in your mind? What does power mean to you? I want your answer.
Intelligence.
Okay, intelligence. What else?
Authority.
Okay, that's the man's way of seeing power. Oh, I will be challenging your ideas of pretty much everything I will be speaking about. Influence, creating change, maybe. So this is what I wanted to say. I need you to listen to me with an open heart.
I look at it as an acronym.
Acronym?
Yes. P, one word, O, W, E, and R, and everyone represents something in all.
I would love to hear more. What's for P?
Okay, perseverance.
All right.
Or offering whatever she can do.
Yes.
Let's say workable, effective, and reasonable.
How about resilience?
Resilience.
Okay. هلا رح نقول ليش resilience is one of them.
بعطيك مناحة.
I want to see what kinds of ideas I'm challenging right now. So I want you to listen to me with an open heart and open mind. لأنه I will be challenging your ideas about a few things I will be discussing today. So, but first I want to share with you this story. The last time I was here in RHU, I was on a stage. It was spring 2004, the end of spring, my senior year. We were presenting a dance because it was a celebration of this type of culture, I believe. And on stage, I was flaunting this gypsy-like skirt, and I was following the choreography like nobody's business. And it felt so free, like I'm flaunting all that I have. And this is what I thought life would be like, a dance. You flaunt everything you've got to the world, and you get a standing ovation. But after graduation, and I got to work, I got my idea of what life is challenged. Turns out that life is not a dance. Life was a series of boxes. Yes, boxes. Not the Macintosh box where you get, with every sweet, you get a yummy surprise. أكيد لا. It was more like this box. And I was as excited about it as this guy here. I was not excited about it. In my first job, I worked at a bank. I was excited. I got to get a job within 1 month of graduation. That was a big thing. And I was ready to prove myself, وبين شطارتي, and do all the things that I know to do. And there was a box waiting for me. Okay, Randa, good for you. You got the job, but get in the box, and then you do the job. And so I was wondering, what is my box about? It was about you stay in your lane, you stick to your job description, ما بتطلع يمين ما بتطلع شمال. ما تسألي هيدا الموظف the credit officer عن شغله, because you'll get the reaction from them telling ليه بدك تتعلمي هيدا? Did someone ask you, or is it a personal initiative? ناوي تغيري position وتاخدي محلي. And so, because this box was dusty and old for me, I decided I will switch boxes to another job. And of course, another box was waiting for me, a little bit fancier, but it's still a box. And I was welcomed, a kid, to overperform and to work in place of more than one employee. Of course, give us all of your abilities. Of course, let's see how good you can perform, and let's see how much we can use your qualities or your potential. Yes. But of course, in terms of recognition, it was done hush hush, very secretly. I remember once, my manager came back from a meeting where they were discussing the results of a secret shopper. In every bank, there's this program, Secret Shopper, where they call the employees and they ask them questions. ثاقبت انه الريزلتس يلي استمعهم هن ل other branches مش لبرانش شطوره اللي كنت انا بشتغل فيه. And it was bad. It was awful. And so the logical thing for him was to come to us and يبهدلنا على results. So everyone got his share من البهدله because the results of other branches were not well. A week later, he came back from another meeting, and where he got to listen to the recording of Shtura branch with me. The secret shopper called me. And what he did was, he took me to his office, very secretly, just between me and him, and he said, "You did a great job. I listened to your recording." Exactly. No one is supposed to listen. You did a great job. That's all. مش تكبر الخسي براسك. And then, when it comes to relationships, there's also a box for us, right? And that box, to me, I'll talk to you about my own box. It was size 0. It doesn't fit my curves. It was فوق المتر و70 تقبرني أكيد لازم يكون فوق المتر و70. And the reaction I got was, شوفي رندا أنتِ حلوة ما بك شيء بس those curves, you have wide hips, do something about that. الزلمة بحب المرة يحط الخاتم براسها ينزل بكعب إجريها. And with this hair الخاتم مش رح يروح على مطرح, it's gonna stick on my head, of course. But I thought, I'll wear it as a hat, I'll just pretend it's a halo, or I'll wear it as a tiara. But of course I was not always that confident. I started to believe that I'm not enough. And this is the programming through our upbringing, through social norms. We have been fed the idea that we are not enough the way we are. And so, boxes for us are pretty much everywhere. We are, they tell us how a woman should look like, how a woman should sound like. خلي صوتك واطي, خلي صوتك رايق. طب ما أنا طبقة صوتي عالي بغني عالدوه, شو بعمل؟ This is how a feminine should be, right? She should always be complacent. She should always be graceful, smiling, sexy, attractive. This is how we should look like. And they even told us how to think. They want us to think like a man. Okay, there has been lots of books written for us on how to think like a man. And there is nothing wrong with how a man thinks, and I will be discussing that later. But it just, the topic itself, the idea itself, it just dismisses our own ability to think for ourselves. And these boxes in the society it's not only for women, it's also for men, right? لازم يكون ما بعرف طائل متر 80 حاجب مشطوب 6 pack Camaro big fat bank account, right? I think that when it comes to boxes, it doesn't only apply to women, also to men. We expect him to be this successful man, to be super rich, to be very connected, you know. This is how we expect a man to be. We are always evaluating ourselves and everyone around us on what is on the outside. And this has got us into a vicious loop. We started believing all the things that we are receiving from the society. We started acting like we need the validation of everything around us, and we started forgetting what true value we have inside of us, okay? And so, we are not enough, not even when we are enough. I remember at one job, I was meeting the manager's wife, and she came to me and she said, إيه جوزي قال لي عنك إنك قوية. Like it was a bad thing. So you're not supposed, yes, you are not supposed to تعبي مطرحك. You are not supposed to intimidate, especially if you're a woman. You're not supposed to intimidate a man. Whereas you're not trying to intimidate anyone. You're just trying to be yourself and give all that you know you can give, right? But if they get intimidated, it's your fault. انت قوي.
It's because your boss is a loser. That's why he's telling his
I'm
wife
not gonna
that.
get it.
Okay, please, يعني it's.
And so.
مع احترام لأنه ما بعرف من هو.
And so like everything is already predetermined for us. هذه البوكسز تبعينا you go through تمشوا هيك. You fit in the box and then بنكمل بالحياة. Okay? And this has been going since the last century, and with the rise of feminism, we got so many victories, أكيد, in the area of equality, right? We have so many victories until now, but I want to share my own idea of how I see the distortion in the idea of feminism, okay? And so because we wanted equality with men, we were convinced that we should do it a man's way, right? Like think like a man and do everything a man's way. You want to take a man's position, you want to work where a man would usually work, you have to do it the same way he does it, okay? And then نحن أخذنا هذه الفكرة to an extreme, and we started being more masculine than feminine. We started dismissing our own superpowers because we believe it only works a man's way. لأنه this is how they taught us, right? It only works a man's way. And because we wanted to shatter our own box of inadequacy or inequality, شو عملنا؟ شلنا حالنا from our own box and then we put ourselves into a man's box, which is practically still a box. يعني how much freedom have we really got with this idea? And I know that we can take power. We can feel like we are really empowered with the idea of feminism, but لما بناخد the power from everything outside of us and not from inside of us, how authentic is really that power? How effective really that power is? إذا كل هذه الأشياء اللي برا بتروح, then we are left what, powerless? This is not what my idea of what power is. If it comes from the inside of you, then you will always have that power. And it depends on how you see it, how you see yourself, and how much you believe in your ability to affect your society and people around you. And so, with the rise of feminism, I believe that the casualties of that distorted system is not only women, but also men. Because, like for women, okay, our responsibility doubled, tripled, quadrupled, and we are expected to meet all these standards with grace and a smile on our face. And I don't know, maybe show some cleavage while we're at it. right? And then what we are doing is that we're bashing men. We're telling them that your way doesn't work. I have to rock the floor beneath you because I have to get my rights. It's like we started a fight against men because we want to prove that we can set you aside, we can set men aside and step into your place. This is, to me, the distortion in this premise. It's a flawed premise to me because it dismisses both our superpowers, a woman's superpowers and a man's superpowers as well. Because to me, a true feminine, she believes in her own ability and in the man's abilities as well. And so, I want to, in these few minutes where I will be speaking of women's superpowers, I will be referring to your energy. So I'm going to be speaking a little bit about science. It's not like I'm going to be poetic or esoteric. No, I love to add science into everything I talk about. This is a diagram, an image of HeartMath Institute that depicts the electromagnetic field of a person. Okay, we all have this electromagnetic field. This is its shape. It's called torus shape. Earth has the same, has an electromagnetic field that looks kind of like the same thing as well. This field is produced by the heartbeats. Okay, and now that we are close to each other, we know that by science, now science knows that our fields are intersecting and they are affecting and being affected by each other. Okay? This field can be measured up to like 3 or 4 feet away from the body. It doesn't mean that it only expands that far, but because only the technology that we have right now can measure it up to that point. Because like a couple of years ago, they could only measure it 2 feet, and now they can measure it a little bit farther. And so when I speak about feminine energy, I just want you, for the sake of you know, a metaphor, just imagine this idea, this image in your mind. For the past like 150 years, science has been believing that the brain is the big boss, right? It does everything. It manages everything inside our bodies. But since the early 90s, they have discovered that there is a neural network around the heart that has 40,000 neurons, and it is much more developed and complex than that in the brain. And the heart sends signals to the brain 4 times as often as it receives. And so, the brain is no longer the big boss. Okay? We have all known how much our hearts are powerful, but we sometimes think this is just poetic, right? بس بكتاب القراءة، بس بالاستظهار نسمع of the strength of our hearts and how much it can make a difference in our life. But now science is just catching up and it's telling us that there is some form of higher intelligence. They call it the intelligence of the heart. And I will, at the end of the presentation, I will give you a technique that will allow you to benefit from this intelligence. So now I have spoken about the energy in general. I want to talk to you about feminine energy and masculine energy. We all have feminine and masculine energy. Yani, women have feminine and masculine, and men, they do have both. A balanced woman, her energy is 75% feminine and 25% masculine. And it's the opposite for a man. In terms of science, شو يعني هيدا? Feminine energy, فينا نقول when we're thinking about our brain, we say that the right brain هو the feminine brain. And the left brain is the masculine brain, okay? And so we have categorized, or we have put certain qualities for feminine energy and masculine energy. And so feminine energy is about creativity, unconditional love, resilience, that's why you said resilience, intuition, collaboration, it's our thing, right? Empowerment and expression, sensuality as well. For the masculine, they are about logical thinking, structural thinking. They are action-oriented, result-oriented, and they are about achieving. Competition also is a masculine trait. That is why we have messed up when we went through the competition mindset to throw off men because we want to be equal to them. So. And so I want you to think of feminine energy. It's like the container of our own superpowers, okay? And among these superpowers, I want to talk about intuition. I believe that every woman has been through a situation where she just feels something inside of her, or hears this subtle voice that's telling her a loved one is in danger, or this person that you just met, he's up to no good, right? We have been through it, right?
No.
بس نحن شو بنعمل? We dismiss this sound because we are programmed and no, this is not the right way to do things. You have to rationalize. Always, you have to think your decisions over. Don't listen to just a voice you hear inside of you. That's not logical, right? And so whatever is not logical, it scares us. Don't go there. It's not safe. But now we have science to back us up. Okay? With HeartMath Institute have been studying intuition for since the 90s, and they have come up with three different types of intuition. Implicit knowledge, it is when we know something in the past, but we forgot it, and then we remember it at a certain instance. For example, nurses, when they can sense that there is something wrong with a patient, and even if the case is, it's like it never came to her before, يعني ما مرقت عليها هذه الcase, she could know. She could know that something is wrong, or she could sense what the problem would be. Energetic sensitivity is the nervous system's ability to sense the electromagnetic field of other people and of Earth. That is why we get affected by other people's moods or other people's energy. Sometimes we say, like someone you just meet and you say, I don't like this guy, or there's something about him, or this is your nervous system reacting to his electromagnetic field. Also,
take a deep breath and relax it.
The electromagnetic field of Earth, it is usually it vibrates at 7 hertz. It's called the Schumann resonance. When it fluctuates, now we get affected by it. Some people get migraine. في ناس بيبطلوا يقدروا يناموا منيح. They can't focus. بيصيروا عيونهم ما بيركزوا. So this is how much our own electromagnetic field is affected by that of Earth. And so one example of energetic sensitivity is sometimes you look to your right and you feel like someone is looking at you, and you just look and you find out that they are looking at you back, right? And there is non-local. They call it non-local because it is something you know, but you don't know how you know it. Like a mother when she knows her son is in danger, or when we suddenly get that feeling like something wrong is going to happen. You know that, you feel it, but you don't know where this came from. Okay, so next time, moms, anyone tells you to dismiss that voice, don't dismiss it, because you have science to back you up on this. And science has come to believe that it is our natural state of deeper knowledge. Because when the heart and the brain are in sync, we have access to higher levels of intelligence. We can come up with decisions, usually very effective decisions, but the way we come up with these decisions, it does not go through the normal thought process, because it's a knowledge inside of our hearts. Doesn't come from here, it comes from here. And we all know right now, because with all the heart transplants, surgeries, we know that the neural network around the heart. It has a memory. It can think for its own. So we now know that we have this inner intelligence that does not يعني ما بيمشي مثل ما العقل يعني ما بيشتغل على rationalizing. Okay, it's an intelligence of your heart. Okay, and so we can do it our own way. We can start deploying our intuition. Where a man is using his structural thinking, نحن كمان we can be as effective by using our intuition, and we have science to back that. Okay, so remove that idea of having to be whatever everyone wants me to be, and I can still. So think of it differently. It starts, deploying your own intuition. Take your power back. It's from here. Okay. Another one is vulnerability. Do you think it's weakness? If you think it's a weakness, say I. Okay, I'm loving this audience. But we have been programmed to say, like a girl, you hit like a girl, meaning weak, below standard. You do something like a girl, meaning that we are weak. And we have been programmed to believe that vulnerability is a weakness. But to be, if you want to be rational about it, okay, let's admit it that there is no act of courage that does not have inside it an enormous amount of vulnerability. Vulnerability, it allows us to connect better to others. We can be tough, right? We women have proved ourselves that we can be tough. We can handle things on our own. But is it the way we are supposed to be? Humankind, we are wired for connection. We are wired to socialize, and not just socialize like social media now tells us to socialize, on a deeper level. And so I know that sometimes it is hard to share an intimate part of yourself that maybe you would not share with yourself, maybe, right? This is why it scares us to be vulnerable, okay? But as a pioneering researcher in vulnerability says, vulnerability is at the core, the center of meaningful human experiences. Why? Because it allows you to better support me. If I don't say that I need your support or I need your help, right? And you are there, you want to help, you want to support. So it's like I'm taking that away from you. I'm telling you that your help and your support are not needed. And this has been one of the reasons that researchers depict would be the reason of high rates of men's suicide. Because we are tough, I'm a big girl, I can do things my own way, I don't need a man. And so I'm telling a man that you're no longer needed. And to tell someone that you are not needed in this world, this is truly very bad, this is very hurtful, this is painful. And we are not supposed to do that, okay? So when I'm not being vulnerable with my loved ones, I'm taking away from them the chance to help me, to be there for me, and to love me. Why are we so okay with giving to everyone, and we're not okay with receiving? You would be there for your friend, right? In the middle of the night, if she's going to through a hard time, if she got some injury and she has to go to the hospital, and you go be there for her, right? You would be there for a friend's celebration, right? And you know what's her favorite perfume, and you know that maybe she's allergic to gluten, and you would prepare her favorite cake maybe, and you will take into consideration everything you have to, right? And so I want you to start thinking of vulnerability as it's not something weak, okay? It is you allowing yourself to be all that you are, and you are giving others the chance also to be there for you. Connection. Why is it really a superpower? I think that it is our thing. It's a feminine thing. Like, for example, I believe that two women could meet from different backgrounds, different cultures, different everything, and they could just connect within a few minutes. If they mention childbirth or the last failing relationship, boom, connection. We connect right there at that instant, right? And it's not only for women. Researchers have been finding that we are wired, we are engineered, the way our bodies are engineered, we are engineered to connect. That is why our electromagnetic fields can affect others around us, and we are being affected by their fields as well. And so, for women, it is our thing, right? We are so good at creating women tribes, right? Because we are all about support, nurture, empowerment. So these circles create for us a platform, let me say, to just be all that we are, right? With no judgment. We don't have to conform to anything. We're just being women ourselves, okay? No matter how crazy we are, we're just fine with being ourselves within our own circles. And we do believe that when one of us rises, we all rise. This is different from the competitive thinking of the masculine, okay? We believe in empowerment, they believe in competition, okay? I say emotions and this comes to your mind, say I. Tika, this raging volcano from Moana. Does it scare you that we have emotions? Yes? Do you get judged for having emotions?
Yes.
Okay. Someone once told me, you are emotional. Like it was a bad thing. And my first reaction was like, I'm sorry. And then I started thinking, why should I be sorry for something that I already have? And I have it in abundance. But I can handle those. You're off the hook. You don't have to be scared from these emotions. But لأنه نحن we have been programmed that this is something we have to stay away from. You have to not throw your emotions on anyone. Okay? No one is responsible for your own emotions. Don't show emotions. If anything, you can show you are excited. You can show you are loving, you can show you are graceful and nice, but you can't show that you're angry. God forbid it you show your anger. This is bad. And I believe that we are emotional, yes, but we are emotional because these allow us to serve better, to love better, to be there for others better, to support better. There is a mission for these emotions, and please don't be scared of having emotions. Some people call emotions that like there are negative and positive. Well, emotions, to me, they're just emotions. We can say these are wanted and unwanted. They're not like negative or positive, but it's just our programming that we are programmed to fear these negative emotions. But we should have a strategy to deal with our emotions. We should have good emotional intelligence to better use these emotions, okay? Don't be ashamed of having emotions. If someone throws that at you, tell them they allow me to love you better. They allow me to serve better, to support better, to be there for you better, right? And as this pioneering psychiatrist said, Henry Maudsley, the feeling that cannot find its expression in tears will make other organs weep. Okay? We already know that. We hear our grandmas say that, right? Like my grandma would say, الزعل مرض مخفي. And the message that I want to deliver now is, yeah, listen to your grandma, why not? She has been following her intuition and she was okay with saying that, but now you got science to back you up, okay? Don't suppress your emotions. Don't be scared of having negative emotions. You can do something about that. when you have an emotion that you don't want to feel, ask yourself, why am I feeling this emotion? If you try to name the emotion, this is the study from UCLA, just the act of naming the emotion would decrease its intensity. لأنه during our mind chatter, we would think, for example, a concern, a feeling of concern, we would think like it's fear. But if we just silence the chatter in our minds and we are giving our brain a job, we are telling our brain, let's name the emotion. And so بدل ما الدماغ يكون عم ينشغل بكتير اشياء مش لازم ينشغل فيها، focus على to name the emotion, and then the mind chatter كتير بخاف والintensity then تبعيت الفيلينگ كتير بتخاف. So that would definitely help us. Another thing you can do is to write it down. When we like we have a bad experience and we're feeling bad about it, if we write it down and we put it on words in front of us, it gives the brain space, or it gives it a message that this is no longer here inside of you. You can look at it from a different perspective. So بصير our brain قادر أكتر to be more objective about the situation at hand or the experience. And this practice will give you so much insights about yourself, because you will start noticing that some emotions تجي from a negative self-talk. Okay, sometimes you're just there on your office, you're doing nothing, and all of a sudden you're feeling bad. Okay, just ask yourself. You notice, you're probably telling yourself, I'm not performing well, I'm not enough, I should do better. I'm ugly, I'm not attractive, I'm fat, I'm thin. You know, the old programming that we are programmed to think. And because it's so ingrained in us, هو بيشتغل لحاله autopilot بيبقى شغال. And so, if we really want to stop this programming, it's good to ask ourselves, what am I feeling right now? Even if you're not like feeling bad or anything, just cultivate this habit of having awareness of what's going on inside of you. Always ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? And if you want to cry about it, yes, why not? Okay? So express your feelings. Express them in a healthy way. Have a strategy to express your emotions in a healthy way. But don't be scared of having emotions. Don't be ashamed of having emotions. Our bodies. If I would like put this photo for men and women, men would say these are super sexy women. Okay? Women would say شوفوا قديش عرض الغراب. في عندها هون سيلوليت، في عندها شعرها بيضاء. ما بعرف شو عندها كروسفيت، ما بعرف.
ثلاثة منيح.
مضبوط، ثلاثة منيح. But we are so focused on everything wrong with us. We believe that everything is wrong with us. We stop being present with what is of essence in us, what is of value, what is really beautiful in us. So, في شي حدا فيكم like every day in the morning you are grateful for 3 things about yourself? Have you ever done that? Great. So if you're not, please start like every morning and state 3 things that you love about yourself. Not only for women, but men as well. Yes, of course. You should remind, like, you always, I'm sure that you always remind maybe your colleagues or your kids of what you love about them and how you empower them. Why is it bad that we empower ourselves? We should also cultivate this habit. Let's start empowering ourselves as well, because we deserve the support and the love that we give for others. We deserve to have it ourselves as well. And so, out of shame and non-acceptance of our own bodies, we started with dieting, surgeries, and strict numbers. Someone once told me, what is your waist to hip ratio? I was like, is that a thing? There is a waist to hip ratio. Looks like, yeah, for a woman to be beautiful, she should have a certain waist to hip ratio. Okay. When I said, I embrace my curves and I like my curves, no one liked that. The Alumni, that's the reaction that I get. We're not supposed to embrace all that we are. We are supposed to be like mascara. And I think that nature does not believe in mascara. There are no straight lines in nature. And so, we should not, we should not put our bodies under mascara or put on strict numbers, which is like the BMI or, you know, these numbers.
Maybe we know that we are beautiful or pretty, but it is always important that we hear it from somebody else. So even if we empower ourselves, it makes a greater difference if we hear other people telling us that you're pretty.
Yes, this is where you should deploy your vulnerability and connection superpowers. Yeah, sometimes, like when it comes to men, Henry, they mirror to us what we do, because we think differently, okay? And they think, تنقول إنه أنت you empower yourself by ما بعرف buying new clothes, and so he buys you new clothes. Let him listen to you, empowering yourself, so that he knows that that means a lot to you, and then he will start doing that. So we have to tell them what we like. Yeah. So, and to the moms among you, you are so focused on your stretch marks that you forget the fact that your body has created life inside of it. Okay? And so please start shifting. You are not your stretch marks. You are not your weight. انت مش هذا الرقم اللي على الميزان. انت اشياء كتير ما بتنقاس بالارقام. Focus on that, please. Your body هو اصلا it's engineered for optimal performance, right? لأنه every cell in our bodies بيعرفوا شو يعملوا to get to optimal health. This is how we are designed. نحن شغلتنا just to get out of the way. شو يعني get out of the way? Get this out of the way. لأنه our body is listening to us. Stop telling yourself that you are fat. Stop telling yourself you're not tall enough. Stop telling yourself you have curves, you don't have curves, you have boobs, you don't have boobs, you have a Brazilian butt and you don't have a Brazilian butt. Stop telling that to yourself. Start telling yourself that your body is a miracle, and start thanking your body for all the beautiful things, for your health, for example, for its ability to carry a baby. And please don't reject your bodies for having a period. We do that to ourselves. We hate our bodies because we're having a period, but we forget that that means that our body is functioning optimally. And to reject a part of yourself, a part of your body that you will be living in this body forever, and you're telling your body that there is a part of you that I reject, this is the cause of so many pain and disease inside of our bodies. And you are creating it here with your mind. So your body is listening to you. Start talking nicely to your body. Love your body in terms of giving it all the rest it needs. Moms and working women, we always feel guilty about having rest or self-care, right? Because you think, أنا كل نهار بالشغل, then I have to make it up to my kids. لازم أعطيهم كل شيء أنا حرمتهم منه بوقت اللي أنا كنت بالشغل, right? Okay. But إذا بتفكري فيها in another way, if you take care of yourself, you will be better equipped to take care of them. Okay? لأنه you have your own limits. Okay? You cannot pour from an empty cup. Fill your cup first so that you can serve them better. They want you, they need you, they want you to be there for them, to love them, and to give them all that you want to give. But إذا أنت exhausted and depleted, يعني, do you expect you're going to do a good job?
When we're on a plane, they always tell us,
yes, put your own mask first. Yeah. But نحنا, the culture tells us, you are a bad mom. Like, if you go to work, that's a bad mom. If you you don't over mother or over care, you are a bad mom. Okay? You're not allowed to empower your kids. That means إذا أنت عم تتركيهم لحالهم and you're giving them encouragement, to do things their own, you will start hearing هيدي إنه she's not a good mom. She should, ضلها فوق راسهم تعمل لهم كل الأشياء هي. So we have a lot of guilt around that, and yes, exactly. And so I want you to start cultivating the habit of self-care. Start giving yourself self-care, and then your husband will know that this is how you like to take care of yourself. And you'll notice that maybe at some point he will book you a session at a spa and, you know, take the kids out. He has to know how you like to do things, okay? Don't let him speculate. Show him how you like to do it. And so, the idea of femininity. I kind of sound like I'm against like feminism and now femininity. Okay, I'm a femininity coach, but I don't believe that femininity is a very straight eyeliner and a very red lipstick. It is about how welcoming your energy is, how people around you feel good about themselves. It's not about you looking hot in the yoga pants. It is about how you empower people and how you connect with people, how you serve people. And it is definitely not about, you know, wearing sexy lingerie. It is about you inspiring your man to be the best version of himself, for you, and for the whole world. And so, stop wearing femininity as a mask. You are not only you are not the way you dress. You are about how much value you bring into this world. If you really want to be a truly feminine woman, to me, this is what I think femininity is. It is how much value you can bring into this world, using all your own powers, believing in your own superpowers, embracing them all, and use them to make this world a better place. And so, for us to be able to do that, we have to let go of some old programming. Okay? So, we are not our story. I'm not a widow. I'm not a widow. I'm not a divorced woman. I'm not an overweight woman. I'm not a cancer patient. I am a lot beyond that. I am all that I choose to be and how I choose to flaunt it to the whole world. So remove the power from everything around you and take your power back and let it stem from here, from your own truth. And so this is what I mean by removing all that stands in your way. This old programming, what you think that when you think you're not enough, stop telling yourself you're not enough and change it. Okay, start telling, it didn't work. You're convincing yourself that you're not enough and it didn't work. Let's start switching that. So to me, a truly feminine woman stands tall in her femininity and she celebrates the man in all his masculinity. That is why I don't believe in the distorted idea of feminism these days, because it's not about bashing men. We have to realize that they have their own superpowers and we have to embrace our differences. We have to go beyond equality of and who's good at what. We should stop thinking men are good at this, women are good at that. We have to embrace our differences and believe that we each have our own set of superpowers that when combined together, we can make this world a better place. And this is an excerpt from my article at Home Magazine. You can read it at the latest issue. And I named it Beyond Feminist and Into Family. I say when women show their way works too, and that is not about emasculating men, they will come to see eye to eye, that is with men. Both want to create a better future, even if their ways are different, right? The feminine uses her intuition as effectively as he uses his structural thinking. She can inspire by leading from her heart, just as he motivates others to push through their limits. Her softness can heal where his strength has injured, and her compassion can empower where his tight hold on power has created restrictions. The true essence of femininity is that it realizes its power, embodies it, and flaunts it unapologetically to the world, all while inspiring the masculine to become the true version of himself, and she celebrates him as an equally powerful partner for bringing more peace, ease, and healing into this world. Agreed? Yes. All right. I'm loving my audience today. And now, I promised you I'll teach you a technique, okay? And so after I explained about our electromagnetic field and how the heart affects the brain, because it's sending 4 times as much signals to the brain as it is receiving. What happens when we are stressed for any reason is cortisol gets secreted inside of our body, okay? And what cortisol does is بيحط جسمنا on emergency mode. يعني كل شيء له خاصة بالميتابوليزم والregeneration بيوقف لأنه there is danger and we have to prepare the body for something called fight or flight, freeze or faint. And so في parts of the brain بيبطلوا يشتغلوا شيء اسمه cortical inhibition. That is when cortisol بيعلى بالجسم and parts of the prefrontal cortex بيبطلوا يشتغلوا. Okay, so نحن we are reacting out of instinct more than rational thinking. And so when we start to getting our heart and our brain in balance, and when we start telling our mind, okay, شيل الفوكس تبعك عن هيدا السترess, okay, and let's get coherent. Coherent means when all our systems inside they are in harmony. Okay, so السترess كثير بيخف, and then the prefrontal cortex ترجع تشتغل عادي. That is why بالامتحانات when we are really stressed sometimes ما فينا نتذكر الداتا اللي حفظناها لأنه certain memory parts تبقى واقفة due to the cortisol العالي. And so this technique, it's good. It's like a self-care practice you can do. للstudents قبل الامتحانات do that because it will bring back all of your functionalities in your brain so you can remember لأنه البارتس اللي مسؤولة عن critical thinking و problem solving بيرجعوا بيشتغلوا بينما بيكونوا واقفين لما الكورتيزول بيعلى. And so practically we start هلا رح أقول شو هي and then we will do it. So we start breathing deep and slow, deeper and slower than usual, and we focus on the area of our heart. نحن شو نكون عم نعمل هون؟ Scientists they call the breath تبعنا هو remote control تبع البرين. لأنه our minds هن they are made ليضلوا عم يشتغلوا. They call it monkey mind لأنه هو شغلته يضلوا عم يشتغل. And so we give it a task. بنقول له ركز هون. So كل هذا المايند تشاتر هون يلي would be causing us stress بيروح. Okay? And then we synchronize the heart with the brain. بنرجع الجسم to the state of optimal functioning. بيصير الكورتيزول شوي شوي ينزل وتأثيره على الجسم بيصير لأنه لما نكون نحن in a state of coherence في هرمون بالجسم بينفرز اسمه DHEA هو المسؤول عن كل شيء regeneration وهو it counteracts كل the effects of cortisol inside of our body. And so نحن كأنه عم نمسك محاي وعم نحل all the bad effects of cortisol when we are getting ourselves into a state of coherence. Okay? So I want you to close your eyes, please. Breathe a little bit slower and deeper than usual. Like 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out. Put your hand over your heart. Imagine the breath is coming in of your heart and it's going out of your heart. Even if ideas start coming to your mind, smoothly shift your attention back to your heart area. Always focus on the area of your heart. And you can come back now. How did that feel? It was just for 1 minute. يعني التأثير تبعيله مش كثير عالي, but it would definitely get you relaxed. And the reason I told you to close your eyes هو just to focus. بس عادة أنا بعملها وأنا عم سوق لأنه I'm just used to it. It's supposed to be a very practical technique. يعني ما بدها special setup لنعمل هذه التكنيك. You can do it in your office لما تكونوا عم بتسوقوا everywhere. It's just a matter of focusing on the area of your heart it helps to put your hand over your heart لأنه الفوكس بيروح وين touch is. And so إذا حاطين إزر على إزر دم نعملهم هيك and إيه عشان نخلي البرين focus مش بمطرح تاني. It's just an engineering of the nervous system. If you can just focus on your heart بدون ما تحط إيدك على قلبك, and then it's okay. This is just the trick to tell the heart, to tell the brain, let me sync you with this, okay? Focus on this. There is no other job for you to do, just focus on this. And this is practically you sending a love message to your body. You taking care of your body because you deserve to take care of your body and you should not feel guilty about it. If I could today, if I have inspired even one of you today to go out in this world and feel really enough with all that she is, regardless of what the society is telling, what the media is telling, like we're not enough unless we look like Kim Kardashian. So if I convinced you to stop thinking like that, then I have done a good job today. I hope I have inspired you, and if you'd like to connect more with me,
They gone.
The
power is gone.
Ah, okay, the power. That's nice. Thank you for having me. And
Thanks, Dr. Makram. Join us on the stage to deliver Miss Randa an award.
You changed my definition of power.
oh, good, thank you. I'm glad I did. Thank you. Thank you. شكرا جزيلا. Thank you for having me.